Hi there, it's Carol with Carolbcrafts. Today we'll be doing project number 3 in my first Frost December Club Kit. Check out my website, cutstampcreateclub.com, to see what current club kits I'm offering. Now if you don't have the club kit, don't worry. I'll give you the supplies and dimensions as we go along so that you can follow along and make this card with us. Now in your club kit you'll have a 6x12 sheet of this DSP. You're going to want to cut 4 inches by 6. You want to cut a 4 by 6 inch piece. And if you want to make multiples of this card, then you would just cut another 4 by 6 so that you have 2 4 by 6, altogether 3. Now once you have your 4 by 6, you're going to cut it so that it is 4 by 5 1/4. So you're going to take 1/4 off the top right here. So what we'll be doing is we'll use the 4 by 5 1/4 piece for our background, and then this strip right here, we're going to flip this 3/4 by 4, and that will go right here. Your card base is going to be a piece of thick whisper white, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. You'll have 4 pieces of Night of Navy, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. You'll have a piece that's 3.5 by 4 1/4, a piece that is 2.5 by 4 1/8, and a piece that is 2.5 by 1.5. You'll have 4 pieces of whisper white, 2 for die cutting, 5.5 by 4 1/4 for the vine. You'll have a piece of 4 1/4 by 3.5 for your little blue flowers. You'll have an inside sentiment for stamping, 3 1/4 by 4, and then for your front oval sentiment, 2 3/8 by 4. And then for your ribbon, you'll have a 9-inch piece of Old Olive 1/8 inch sheer ribbon. And the inks that you'll need are Night of Navy and Mossy Meadow. We'll start by stamping our vine on a piece of our 5.5 by 4 1/4 whisper white, and we're going to use Mossy Meadow for that. So we have our vine. Now we're going to take our 4 1/4 by 3.5 inch whisper white, and we're going to stamp 4 of the little flowers in blue, in Night of Navy. So I've stamped my 4 blue flowers. Now I'm going to clean off my stamp and dry it really well, because I'm going to need to use it on the inside sentiment. Now I'm going to get my 3 1/4 by 4 inch piece of whisper white. That's for the inside. And we're going to do our flowers. And I think I'll need to put something underneath here because I'm going to be stamping off the cardstock. So I'm just going to place my flower kind of here in the corner, off a little bit. Ink that up with Night of Navy. I'm only going to stamp once because I want somewhat of a fainter image. I don't want a bolder image. And now I'm just going to kind of move this over to where I feel like I want it, a little bit down and over. That looks good. I'll put this in place, ink up my stamp. And let's see if I can do this without moving my stamp. Oh, it looks like I might be able to right there. Just had to tilt my paper a little bit. And there's our flowers. And now again on the 5.5 by 4 1/4, I'm going to stamp "Wishing you the very best," and I'm going to be die cutting that with the second smallest oval. So I just want to make sure that I have room to cut that out with my die, and I will. That's going to be in Light of Navy. Okay, we're done with our stamping. Okay, I have my dies ready to be die cut. I have lined up my image, my die on the Mossy Meadow vine image. I have the second smallest oval and the layering oval framelits on there. I have the 2 dies for the flowers here. I'm going to run those through my Big Shot. So I have my images die cut. So now I'm going to take my 2.5 by 1.5 piece of Night of Navy and die cut the second smallest scalloped oval in the layering oval framelits. So we're ready to assemble our cards. I'm going to take my card base and fold it in half and burnish the fold with my bone folder. Next will be the Night of Navy. It's the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 Night of Navy. On top of that will be our DSP 4 by 5 1/4. So we'll go ahead and get that on. So now we're going to put our strip of DSP on, and it's about 1 3/8 from the bottom. The bottom of the strip is about 1 3/8 from the bottom of the card. So a little more than 1 1/4. Okay, we have that on. Now we're going to go ahead and take our Whisper White piece of Whisper White that's 2 3/8 by 4. We're going to put that on our Night of Navy that is 2 1/2 by 4 1/8. We'll go ahead and do the inside sentiment. We'll put that on our piece of Night of Navy. That is 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. We'll go ahead and put our sentiment on our Night of Navy scallop. Now on this panel here, we're going to put our vine with the little arrow-like shape pointing up, and we're going to put that on, but first we're just going to put a glue dot. We're going to put some glue dots on the back of it. Put one here by the arrow. Twist it off or pinch it off. Don't pull it off. And then you'll put one there, and then kind of one down at the bottom. You don't want to put too many in the between because you're going to have room to put your flowers, and you want it about 1/8 of an inch from the top in the middle. Lightly put it down. Don't press it down too hard because you want to make sure you've got room to put your flowers in. So you're going to put 2 on this side and 2 on this side, and you're just going to try to figure out how you like them. You might like this one a little bit higher up here. Tuck it in, and this one here. So however you like it, that's how you should do it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put a glue dot, and if you need to trim the stems of the flowers, you can too. You're just going to put a glue dot on the back and then tuck it in underneath the Mossy Meadow, and then just put your glue dot there. And then you'll just do that with all of them. And then when you're happy with it, you're going to put it on your card, and it'll be about 1/4 of an inch from the top and maybe 1/8 of an inch from the side of the DSP, not the top of the card, but the DSP. We'll put that on with some snail. Now the sentiment is going to go here, just above our line here, and we're going to pop it up with some dimensionals, but we're only going to put dimensionals on this half because we don't want dimensionals over where this piece of cardstock is. So I have dimensionals on the right half of that, and it's just going to go, like I said, just above that green, and then just right near the edge here. Make sure it's level, and that looks good. Okay, so now then we just need to do our bow. So we're going to take our 9-inch piece of old olive and make a loop. Bring this around our thumb and around, and then to the back. I'll move that, maybe you can see better, to the back, and then you're just going to push this through where your thumb is, and then pull it tight and adjust it to the size that you want. This is a small bow, so we want it kind of small. And then kind of puff it up on the edges. That's going to go right here. We're going to put that on with the glue dot, so just going to take the back, put it up against a glue dot, and pinch it off. Put it on that stem right there. Now we're going to trim our bow a little bit here. So now our card is finished. That was project number 3 in my first Frost December club kit. Check out my website, cutstampcreateclub.com, to see what current club kits I'm offering. Thanks for watching. Bye now.